All right, guys, we've just lost 3-1 to Liverpool, and we got our first guest here, Brian. How you doing, Brian?
Raging, fuming, annoyed, frustrated. Basically, the words that define a Tottenham Hotspur fan.
Yeah, we're used to this over the years, aren't we, Brian?
You know what? Honestly, I've said, like, you know, when you buy a packet of cigarettes back home and they have those strong warnings like smoking will cause slow pain.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what Tottenham is a sponsor.
Yeah,
Because you should,
absolutely. Yeah.
because it's just a shocking performance. I think it's one of the worst performances we've seen.
Okay, so what was shocking about it? Tell me. Let's break it down. What was the shocking? Because I thought we looked okay in the first sort of 20 minutes, half hour. No.
So I don't get Matt Doherty being a left back or left midfielder. A lot of people are not liking Matt Doherty, but I think he's actually a good player. But he's come in, had no training, had COVID, been a right back, then a right wing back, then go to the left. So that puzzled me, especially after our performance against Marine. I thought, you know what, get him to stretch his legs a bit more. Son, and we all love Son. I think he was woeful. Yes, he scored a goal, but it was a fraction offside. And then we had obviously the Kane injury, which we all knew was going to come at some point. And the most shocking thing about that, and it really hit home with me, is we looked like we were going to lose Kane, and he warms up Lamella and Lucas, and not Vinicius. Some of his thinking.
Do you think Vinicius would have made a difference? Because I don't think we were dominating the ball well enough to even got him a sniff at, of a chance.
This is the thing, John. Unless we give him a chance, you don't know. And I was saying on the podcast that I've started doing with you fellas is you don't know until you give him a chance. And we bought this striker because we've always said we need a second striker to relax Kane and ease the stress of him, so he doesn't play too much, so he doesn't get injured too much. And then we all knew this was going to happen. His ankles are like made of glass now.
Well, this is the thing. I actually said this to Ben last week, believe it or not. I said, I can see Kane's about to have an injury, his annual injury. I actually said this, Ben will vouch for me on this one. I said, I know Kane that well. He's about to have a big injury that's going to cost him, a couple of months out. And he did a wry smile at me. And as soon as he got injured, I looked up at him and I went, there you go, mate. And I know this is happening because you can see he goes a little bit leggy before he gets this big injury. And that's what I've seen from him the last couple of games. And lo and behold, he's got injured. And hopefully, fingers crossed, it's not too bad. But this happens every year. And you're right. We brought Vinicius in to allow for this and to basically take the burden off Kane's shoulders so that he isn't playing the whole season flat out and he doesn't have this annual injury. But unfortunately, what's happening is Jose doesn't have enough belief in Vinicius to play him in these sort of games where he sees that Kane's sort of on a bit of a dip. Kane's going to play the whole way through. He's going to get that injury, and this is inevitable, right? I mean, this is what's happening.
It really is. But also the thing is as well, like I said, I don't know why Kane went to Wickham. For all love, it's like, okay, it's only a bus ride and you came on for the last few minutes. Just leave him at home. He's just had a brand new baby. Let him spend some time with his family. Let him put his feet up and watch it at home. And you've got to remember all the England games he's been playing, even the pointless friendlies. It's like
it's going to take its toll, just the travelling alone.
Exactly. It's like we're all not blessed to be footballers, but we all have to work. And right now, work is you take it when you can get it. But you have to get that work-life balance in case you get burnout. And that's just from us working a 9 to 5.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's putting his body on it. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I don't get it. You look at it and everyone goes back to when United won the treble. York, Cole, Sheringham, Solskjaer.
Yeah, there's four world-class players in there.
Exactly. All right, then it was a 4-4-2 mainly, but you had a backup striker. And it's like we have one and we don't play him. It's as pointless as giving Vincent van Gogh a pair of glasses.
Yes.
It's like, well, what is the point?
Or a second year, yeah.
Yeah, well,
I know. I see. I don't get that. That happened. That was the big fault that I had. The big issue that I had with Pochettino is that he would play Kane every single game, and then he'd get the big injury, and then it'd be no plan B for that because it was just he was out, and then what do you do then? Bring in Vincent Janssen. It's just like that was, and that cost us a lot of points because he did not have a good plan B for that position. So I totally hear you, Brian. There. The other thing you mentioned there was Doherty, right?
Yeah.
Now this is an unpopular opinion, right? let's say you're chasing a game, you're 2-1 down, you're 3-1 down. The ball goes out to the right wing. You know, he was playing quite an advanced position today, right?
Yep.
Doherty. Who would you rather pick up the ball in that position, Doherty or Bale?
Well, obviously, when it comes down to it, it's a no-brainer. But the thing I don't get is
why? No, but hang on. Why are we not considering playing Bale at wing back and Doherty? Why? He's on the bench. He's a world-class footballer. On the ball, he's quality. He picks the right path. He can turn out of trouble. Why Doherty? He's like an average player. Why?
So I'll break it down into two. So when it comes to Bale, and I'm a strong believer in it, I think Bale. The problem with Bale is he doesn't trust his body anymore because he's so scared of pulling a groin or pulling a hamstring or whatever. He's nervous to try. And against Wickham, it finally looked like he'd let the handbrake off and was like, right, I'm going to test my body. And it worked. And I don't think he can do it as much as I would love him to.
Yeah.
I think if we played him at that wing back, it's asking for an injury. It's for him and his body now. But the thing I don't get with Doherty is we signed him as a right back, wing back. And Mourinho even said, I bought him because he was a pain in the arse to play against. And the reason he was a pain in the arse is because he played right wing back. And then he was the second best right wing back compared to Trent Alexander-Arnold. So what do? We say, yeah, you're very good in a back three, but we're going to play you in a back four. Then you're going to get injured, but then we're going to try you at left back. I don't get it. This is what I don't get. As you were saying with Pochettino, the thing I hated with Poch, the one thing I hated about him, is he was always reactive, not proactive with subs.
Exactly. Yeah.
But with Mourinho, when you're 2-0, 1-0 down at the time, I beg your pardon, 1-0, and you got Kane going off, and you need to get a goal, and you make your subs as Winks and Lamella.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense, does it? It doesn't make sense.
It just, there's no reasoning, but I don't get the reasoning or the logic behind it.
I think Jose's biggest failure this year has been his substitutions. I think that's been his absolute biggest downfall. I think from the very get-go, he's made poor substitutions at the wrong times, I think. And that's been his biggest letdown.
Bang on the money.
Do you think so as well? Yeah.
Oh, completely. And I was saying in my group before, it's like when we actually signed Mourinho, I was devastated. And I was like, we're dancing with the devil. We're dancing with the devil. Obviously, the Chelsea links. Then when I saw the Amazon documentary and you got to see behind the scenes, because we always see Mourinho in front of the stands, but you never get to see. He kind of won me over. I thought he came across really, really well in his Instagram. He's done all those right things. But on the pitch now, we're going back to what I feared, and I'm really worried. But it goes back to the biggest problem, which is not Mourinho, not Pochettino, not anyone. It's someone or two people by the name of Joe Lewis and Mr. Daniel Levy. Yeah,
it's an institutional thing. At the heart of our issues are institutional and not surface level, and 100%. I definitely see that as well. Yeah, because you're only as good as the top man. If the top man's not right, it trickles down into the next levels of authority, and so on and so on and so on.
Exactly.
You only have to look at the history books to see the results of that in the last 21 years to get an account of that. Yeah, exactly. All right, Brian, listen, we're going to have to end it there, mate. But any final thoughts, any final words? I mean, it's a little bit negative, but do you still see us having a little bit of oomph for the top four, or where do you see us finishing?
I hope so. I mean, we've got Chelsea next, of all teams to run into. It's just typical Tottenham, isn't it? When Liverpool haven't scored a goal for 5 games, they haven't played well, they haven't done this. It's like you come to play Tottenham and Trent Alexander scores and he's been poor. And now Chelsea have had their grief and they'll come to us. It's just written in the stars. But hopefully, I think we'll still get top 4. Hopefully, we'll have some activity in the transfer window.
Yeah, it's an important transfer window, isn't it, for everyone?
It really
especially for us. All right then, Brian. Thanks a lot for your call, buddy.
My pleasure, John.
I'm sure we'll have plenty more conversations in the week to come. All right.
I look forward to it, my man. I really do.
Take care, brother. See you later.
And yourself, my man. Bye bye.
Cheers, mate. Bye.